What goes on inside the mind of an improviser? In this video, you'll get a jazz improv concept that has helped many learning how to improvise find a way to make more cohesive lines. Hi, my name is Jason Klobnak and I'm a jazz trumpeter from Denver, Colorado that helps musicians find a better way to improvise. If you're looking for a quick jazz improv tip that will help your soloing, then you've come to the right place. Have you heard this phrase before? Improvisation is composition in real time. I remember the first time I heard that, my initial reaction was, yeah, makes sense, I got it. The problem was, I really didn't. It was one of those moments of in the air, out the other. Just young and naive. It wasn't until many years later and learning composition that it started to make sense. So, today's jazz improv concept is thinking about improvising like composition. Specifically on how a melody fits over harmony and working out or developing the idea. To do this, we have to think about where the melodic line is going. If you were to sum up what the word targeting means, that would be it. It's asking the question, what's the ultimate landing spot for the end of this line? And how does it fit over this harmony? Then you can look at the tools used to get to that target, and believe me, there's all types of tools, and then figure out how it all worked. So let's take this concept and do it together. Here are the chord changes to Have You Met Miss Jones? The first step is to pick a target. What works as targets? I get into this in greater detail in my targeting masterclass, but there are two different types. There are macro or key-based targets, and micro, which are the chord's tones, like the thirds and sevenths, roots, fifths, all those sorts of things. Sometimes they're the same, and other times they'll be different. For this video, let's use the B flat as a target over the G minor 7 chord that happens in the third measure. You may be wondering why that note, or why in that measure? The note itself is arbitrary. You can pick any target that works. Like a composer, test it out. If it doesn't work, then you can change it. For the choice of measure, though, you want to think about phrases and their tendencies of how they're grouped. While not all phrases, most follow even numbered patterns like 2 or 4 bar phrases. In this example, I chose 2, which takes us to the G minor 7 chord ending our first phrase. Okay, so we've picked our first target. Now we need to use a tool to get there. If you're just starting out with improvising, then I would suggest using the key areas pentatonic scale as a first choice tool. What is the key area in this spot? If you said F major, you'd be correct because the overall A section is in F. But does that D7 chord fit in F major? Well, it doesn't occur naturally because of that F sharp. But it does act as a secondary dominant to G minor 7, or the 5 of G minor 7. This does start getting a little deep into theory, but I wanted to show you that if you were to pick a target over this chord, you can choose the key area of F or G minor 7. They're closely related, so I'm going to use G minor as the key and use its pentatonic scale as a tool to get to that B flat target. Now, which pentatonic? I like majored pentatonics because of its varied uses in my targeting method. If you learn your minor pentatonics, they're the same thing, just starting on different notes. So G minor pentatonic and B flat major pentatonic, they're the same thing, so there's no need to make it complicated. Because we're playing swing rhythms, we want our target to anticipate the third measure and not land on beat 1. We'll make it target the and of 4 in the second measure. So let's take a page from a composer like Beethoven and start with a simple motif or melodic idea and build from there. Start with just a few notes and make the B flat the target or your last note. We'll start simple and make it step down like this. By itself, it's not an overly exciting idea. But what if we were to develop it by adding more notes before it, like this? Or add the F sharp that belongs in that D7, like this. Try them out without any backing track or play along at first. Test them. If they sound good without accompaniment, then you're on the right track. You get to act like a composer and take some time to edit and develop it. It's a great way to practice to prepare for those real-time and in-the-moment solos. Let me show you how I might do it by trying the original idea over the G minor 7, as well as trying to develop it in other parts of the progression. Then you can have a chance to work out developing the first idea. It's a really simple concept, but one of the most profound ways to develop your own ideas, or even taking licks and lines of your favorite players and making them your own. If improvisation is composing in real time, then let's treat it that way and work out our solo chops in the same way. If you don't have any songs you're working on now, there's a quick composition lesson on harmonic ideas that you can use for writing or practicing this idea over. There's a link below to a free video and lesson that comes with a 51-page PDF of all sorts of harmonic options to pick from. Knowing the roadmap of options not only helps you become a better composer, but an improviser as well. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that it has added value or benefit to your playing in some way. Leave a comment below on what you thought, or tell me what target you'd use over Have You Met Miss Jones? Be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell that's right next to it. That lets you know when future videos are coming out. And if you know any other musician that might find this useful, you can share it with them too. Until then, my name is Jason Klobnak, and I'll see you on the next one.